A lot of the calls that come into the Nebraska Humane Society Behavior Helpline deal with cats that are adolescents and suddenly they're out of control. They're stalking feet and they're not acting appropriately and they're biting and swatting at their owners. Why does this happen and what can you do to avoid it? A kitten learns a lot in the first several months of life from its litter mates. But because people don't adopt litters, we do separate kittens for adoption. However, we love for them to go in pairs. So we always offer 2 for 1, or BOGO. Kittens bite, wrestle, and stalk. It's normal behavior, but without a litter mate to practice on, your kitten will likely wrestle with you. Tolerating this behavior without teaching your kitten to check his biting and scratching will get you a young adult cat who's developed those bad habits of scratching and biting. Even if you're home a lot, the amount of attention your kitten will demand is likely to be more than you have to give. A pair of kittens will occupy each other most of the day. Cats are social and enjoy each other's company too. Kittens are curious. Without a buddy, your kitten's going to find plenty to do, climbing drapes and scratching furniture. Now, kittens who live together might do this too, but with others to tumble on, they're less likely to engage in destructive behaviors and more likely to play with each other. And finally, kittens are active at night. Put 2 of them together and they'll play till they fall asleep, and that will give you some sleep too. Because we want kittens to go in pairs, and they're so great that way, all of our kittens are 2 for 1, and right now they're only $75. That's for a spayed or neutered cat that's been microchipped and has first shots. And these guys, the adults, well, they're fee-waived adoptions, so it's a great time to add a cat to your family. For The Dish, I'm Pam Leese.
Our Molly is just right here.
Oh, okay.
Carol, here's Molly.
Okay.
We have a stop sign.
I'll go take a look at that.
And how do I get the, I have to clip this closed when I go in? Is that what
It has the same latch.
Oh, on the other side. Hi, Molly. Hi, sweetheart. No. You got to let me in. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Let's close this up. Hi. How are you doing? How are you doing? Oh, good girl. Hello. I haven't seen you for a while. Say hi, Molly.
Hi, baby.
She's a really nice girl. Say hi. You're okay. Come on. Good girl. Let's go over here. There.
I don't know where we're going.
She's a nice girl too. Come on, Molly. Come on. I don't think of it as just dog walking because there's so much more to it than that. But basically, I love animals. That's the first thing. And I know there are a lot of animals at the shelter that are looking for homes, and this is a very stressful environment for them. And so my job is to come in here and take away some of that stress for even the briefest of periods, just to make that transition to their forever homes a little bit more bearable for them. And in the meantime, I get lots of doggy kisses and I get to meet some amazing animals, and it won't surprise you that I've taken home more than one. They love to get over on the side because there's good smells over there, and maybe even some critters.
What helps them the most? It's stressful being in a kennel, so getting them out into the yards, they can run off their energy, and then walking them takes that stress off of them.
Here we go. In an effort to basically help dogs who come in here and they're not yet ready to go out for adoption. They're a little rough around the edges, they have some behavior things, and so we work with them to socialize them, get them ready to meet adoptive families.
What is a blue dog walker?
Well, a blue dog usually handles the dogs that are a little more shy. Some of the dogs have come out of surgery, you know, and they need they have special needs because of that. So that's what the Blue Walker does. Dogs are more motivated when you have treats, you know, and it makes it easier to teach them various things like to sit, you know, shake hands. Plus, I think it's a way of getting the dog to bond with people.
Once they get out of the kennel, they behave completely differently. You think you have gotten to know the dog, and then you get them outside. First thing they do is relax in general. You know, it calms them down. It's like, I've got a person with me, somebody's paying attention to me, I've got the nice weather, the out of doors, I'm getting some exercise. We can take them out and throw a ball to them, or let them go to a yard and just let them do some running. Some of them just need to run and get some, get some of that energy out. But it makes them happy, and that's the goal. You bring them back, and they're a lot calmer always when you bring them back to the kennel than when you left.
One of the classes we offer here at the Nebraska Humane Society is called Treibball. It is a class that it can be a competition sport for dogs as well, like agility and flyball, but the competitions are done through virtual training. So you would videotape, and we don't do that part of it, but we do have dogs that think it's absolutely fun. Dogs that love balls. It works on all those basic skills that we have, and we just put them to another level. This is Heidi and Peanut, and they've been playing this game here at the shelter with us for about 3 years since we started this. Peanut thinks it's lovely. Tell us a little bit about Peanut, please, Heidi.
Peanut I got here from the Humane Society when she was just a tiny little puppy, hence the name Peanut. We've just kind of struggled to find stuff that she enjoys to do. She really enjoys the Treibball a lot. She likes agility somewhat, but the Treibball, just pushing the balls, is kind of a reward in itself to her. So it's something that we just both really enjoy.
And Peanut is how old now?
Peanut is now 5.5 years old.
Okay. And when they start this sport, they have to first learn how to go out behind a box because the ball is way, way too exciting. And they learn how to go out behind that box on your cue and wait for you to call them back in. Eventually it'll be a push. They also have to learn to push the ball with a closed mouth. No teeth can be involved and no paws can be involved. It's all with just their muzzle, their nose. We have dogs of all breeds that do this. Herding dogs who like to make things move have a really good time with this because they naturally like to do that. But we've got big dogs, little dogs. When they get to do a ball, they go to a ball that's about this big. And then they go to a ball that's about this big. And then they go to exercise balls. Once they get to exercise balls, generally when they can do multiples of those, they're out in our meadow to practice because we need more space. With the littler dogs, the exercise ball is probably a bit too big, so we just don't go that big with it. But these two can learn how to do all of this. Once they get multiple balls, they have to know which ball to go behind based on the handler's cue. So it's not always just the first ball. It's not always the second ball. Sometimes they have to learn to move around. So it's another skill that you teach your dog how to move in different directions. What would you think would be the best thing about Treibball for you guys?
Handler relationship.
Okay.
The fact that they have to always be paying attention to you and watching for your cues, and just by the whole interaction, they're constantly kind of turning and facing towards you, okay. And having to leave all other distractions out of their mind. So I would say that is one of the most beneficial things. It's just the relationship building process that cool. You're going to gain from that.
Which is cool. And the other thing is when we videotaped this, we videotaped it in our meadow this morning, and there are bunnies out there, and she didn't care at all. She didn't care at all. She wanted to play with the big balls, and her reward for doing that is she gets to go play with her squeaky tennis ball, her very favorite thing in the world. People who take this class have to have a basic class under their belt with their dog. Either basic puppy skills or adult skills or adventure puppy. We love it if you take it from us, but you don't have to, but somewhere so you have an idea of what the instructor's talking about when they ask you for different things. And then from there they can do this class as many times as they want. It's a 4-week class. And it'll be made different for you each time you take it, because each time you'll get to progress a little bit more and a little bit more. Wintertime, it's a little difficult to be out in the meadow because it's snowy, but we do get to, if we can get outside, they get outside and practice, and they have a really good time with it. So if it's something you're interested in, you can register for it on our website at nehumanesociety.org/training. And like, it's a very fun class for you and your dog.
I love to run, but I can't walk a straight line. It's because of my brain. It's been damaged. My previous owner left me unconscious. I still don't know what I did to make her so angry that night. Amazing people found me and gently nursed me back to health. They gave me my second chance. I once overheard a child ask if I'd walk straight again when I got to heaven. Maybe, but right now, I'm enjoying my little piece of heaven on earth.
Here at the Nebraska Humane Society and across the country, it is cat season. Cats are having litters of kittens. We have kittens coming out of our ears. We've got kittens in foster care, and they're super cute, so the adult cats oftentimes get overlooked. Right now, all of our adult cats are fee waived, and our kittens are $75 in BOGO, so it's a great time to add a cat. But a few tips to make sure that when you do add a cat, it works. Tip number 1, always add litter boxes when you add cats. In fact, you should always have one more box than you have cats. So with 2 cats, 3 boxes is optimal. Why is that? Well, that way, no one will be prevented from using a box that's already occupied, and no one can guard the best box. Tip number 2 is beware of covered boxes. While they can be inviting to timid cats, large cats sometimes have difficulty fitting inside and comfortably using them. Also, a cat's natural survival instinct is to be able to see his escape route when he's in a vulnerable position. With an uncovered box, a cat can do that, so yours might be more likely to use it knowing you won't be trapped. Also, while we like the cover that traps the odor, it can create kind of a porta potty for your cat, which can be really off-putting, and he might choose another place to go. So have at least one uncovered box to find out what your cat's preference is. Tip number 3, location, location, location. Your first thought is likely put the boxes out of the way, as they aren't the most aesthetically pleasing thing in your home. We get it, but if it ends up next to a scary loud furnace or other appliance, that's not aesthetically pleasing to your cat. You gotta compromise. Find a quiet, out-of-the-way place, maybe a closet behind a big piece of furniture. Just make sure Kitty always has access to it, and put down a throw rug to catch tracked litter. Prop open the door. Don't forget, if you have a litter box issue, our behavior helpline is always there to help. You can email behelp@nehumanesociety.org or call 402-905-3421 for free advice. Cats provide wonderful companionship, and especially for folks whose schedules might not allow getting home at lunch to walk the dog or give him a potty break. Boy, cats can be a great companion. However, you want to set yourself up for success, and the way to do that is to make sure you successfully place these. For The Dish, I'm Pam Weiss. Well, welcome to The Dish. I'm Pam Weiss, along with Kathy Gannan for the Nebraska Humane Society, and today we're talking about Dental Health Month. And that's a really important thing because dental health is very important for your pet. We've got some statistics for you. Oral disease is the #1 health problem diagnosed in dogs and cats in the United States. In fact, 85% of dogs 2 or older have some form of periodontal disease. Now that's kind of scary when you think that unhealthy teeth can spread infection and disease to other parts of a pet's body, including the heart, and that can cut your pet's lifespan by 5 years. So, veterinary checks of teeth can be life-saving, and they're very important. So, Kathy, I know that we talk, and when I was a kid growing up, I admit it, I'm old, but when I was a kid growing up, we didn't ever brush our pets' teeth.
No, we didn't either.
And you do now, though.
We do. We brush every day pretty much. We usually miss 1 or 2 a week sometimes, but definitely on all the days we go to work.
How do you remember to do that? And how do you have time to do it? It seems like it'd be a pretty onerous process.
Well, I just make sure that I add, 5 or 10 minutes to my day, and it's just part of our morning routine. It's, I make my lunch, and then it's time to brush teeth before we get ready to go to work.
So I guess the one thing that everybody wants to know is how do you actually get your pets to accept toothbrushing? And then we'll get into what you need and how
Yes.
hard you should brush and all that. But how do you even get them to accept it?
Generally what I start out with is, sometimes you just have to show them the toothbrush because some dogs can be kind of afraid of that. And we'll get toothpaste out and maybe I'll just put a little bit on my finger.
She
or
wants
just
it
let
already.
them lick off the thing. You don't want them just to ingest it, a ton of it, but just little bits on your finger. You can also start out with just little bits on the brush so they get used to the feel of the brush as well.
Okay. Now, this isn't toothpaste like yours and mine.
No, this is not human toothpaste. Human toothpaste will do several things. There's an ingredient in it that can make them very sick, but the foaming action will also make them throw up.
Okay.
Which is something to avoid at all costs in my world. So we want to get a toothpaste that is made for cats or dogs. Generally, they're together. But if you get one that's enzymatic, you brush their teeth and don't let them eat or drink for like half an hour, and it keeps working, which is kind of nice. It's really nice. So it just gives you that little bit of time. Some people will brush their teeth before they go to bed. I know that with mine that they're gonna brush their teeth, and then it's gonna take us a while before we get to work and that kind of thing before they'll have a chance to have anything to eat or drink. So it works. It keeps working for a while.
And she seems to like the toothpaste.
Oh, she loves it.
There are different flavors, right?
There are. There's my house. We like the poultry. The poultry's
Poultry.
big stuff.
Poultry flavored toothpaste.
Yes. There's a beef. There's a salmon.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Cats like the fish one, but there's a mint one, and that was not a big hit.
Okay.
It would have been nice for the breath freshening part of it, but
Yeah.
for the purposes of brushing teeth at our house, it's to make sure we get the plaque and that kind of stuff off.
So you want to make sure that you get a flavor that they like. You may want to try a few and see
Yes.
what they like. Then how do you brush? Because I know that you can brush too hard and that's not good. That's not what you want to do.
No, you want to keep it soft. You want it comfortable for them so that they go, oh, they're willing to accept it. But, you can get all kinds of toothbrushes. They make dog cat ones. There's little end and a big end, but they're always very, very soft. I go to the dollar store and get little kid toothbrushes because lots of times, especially if you're starting with a puppy, they'll want to chew on it. And that's kind of expensive to go through toothbrushes. But it's soft, and I just start getting them used to little by little. Don't do a lot at a time. Just start out short and simple.
So it's almost like you're getting a treat. It tastes good. It's on your teeth.
Exactly.
Do you have to scrub?
No, just brushing along the outsides of their teeth. You don't have to worry too much about the insides. You'll get some of it as you get used to brushing, but it's not. We don't have to be as meticulous as we are with our own.
So it's basically getting a toothpaste that they like, getting it spread on the teeth, and letting it do its action.
Right.
If you scrub too hard, I know you can, like us, you
hurts.
can get blood and all kinds of
Exactly.
stuff, and then
And
that's
we don't want
not
to do
good.
that. No, we don't want to do that. We want to make it pleasant, make it fun, so that they're willing to tolerate it. Because if they're not willing to tolerate it, you don't get it done, and then it defeats its purpose.
Are you gonna show us with Hazel how we can?
She would
Yep.
love it.
Let's check
and the
it out.
other thing to remember is Hazel, come here, is when you put it on the toothbrush, don't just put a glob, because they're going to start licking and licking and licking and licking, and they're just going to lick it down. And then it just sits in their belly, and it doesn't really do any good. So I kind of smear it on there a little bit. Here, can you turn around this way a little bit? And I generally just hold their head so I don't poke their eye out, because that's never a good thing. And then you can see her tongue's going to go. And then we just kind of take our time and get it back in her little cheek and move it around as she's trying to lick and lick and lick. And then I'll put a little bit more on for the other side. Just a minute, please. That's the rule in our house. You
I
gotta wait a
think
minute.
getting a toothpaste that your dog likes is key and paramount to making this work.
It is. And then, you just kind of get it back and get them used to it. Just take your time, be relaxed.
And you're not
No,
scrubbing. It's just a
gentle.
little bit. Yeah.
And then do a good job. And then, yes, you can lick the toothbrush off. But you can't bite the toothbrush at our house. If they start chewing on it, toothbrush goes away.
Okay,
You lick
got it.
So it took a little while. And now they'll all just lick it because they know it's going to go away.
My thought would be, and everybody says, oh, dogs, this and that. Does everybody have their own toothbrush?
No, in our house it's one
Okay,
toothbrush per dog
one toothbrush,
for everybody.
okay.
And I have 4 dogs. So
Okay.
we share a toothbrush.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that.
If you have an animal that is really upset, or perchance a cat, are there
Yes.
some opportunities for maybe containing them as you do this?
Well, you can always kind of wrap them up, burrito them a little bit in a towel. You don't need that right now. And which, some cats, you got to kind of get them used to it. She doesn't mind it too badly. And all I do is just stick it that way. And then I'll just pick her up and put her in my arms and finish the burrito. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to want my toothbrush in the right hand. But there we go. And this might be something that we even practice ahead of time. Just burritoing. No toothbrush involved. We're going to burrito you for a minute and see how it goes. Let them lick. Come back to where you started from without that and let them lick, 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 lick. Because it's kind of fun now.
Yeah, there you go.
This isn't bad.
Yeah.
And especially if you have an animal that kind of likes to snuggle anyway. Once they figure out the burrito, it's like, well, this isn't so bad. This is kind of a good thing,
With cats, I know, staying away from teeth is sometimes something that people
Yes.
really want to do as opposed to getting right into the mouth.
Correct.
But as you're petting and loving, sometimes it's just easy enough to kind of get into that mouth or to start,
is.
Getting
Getting them used to that.
muzzle. She doesn't really even know me and she's letting me do that. So if you start it that way, then it might be a little easier then to graduate into working and getting a little bit of toothpaste on those teeth.
Hazel.
I know that we have a finger nubbin too, which is right up at the front. It's a little blue guy, and that can go right over the finger, then it might be a little easier, especially if you're dealing with a cat or someone that doesn't really want you in there. You can just do a little tiny bit of getting that toothpaste in there, and you've got that tiny brush on the end of your finger to do that.
And even practicing, holding onto their head a little bit, just because. When you get to a point where you've got a longer handled brush, you don't want to poke them in the eye or something.
Right.
But just kind of getting them used to, this is nice, oh, this is wonderful, this is all good.
And I'm getting attention too.
Yes, and it's positive. We're not forcing it. If we start ahead of time and, work up so that it's a good thing, it's a nice thing, it makes a difference. But if you think about it too, when your vet goes to check your dog or cat's eyes or their teeth, they're going to put their hands up there like that. So getting them used to you doing it and that it's a very positive, they'll tolerate it from someone else. Don't have to like it, but they will learn to tolerate it.
Speaking of vets, if you go into a veterinary office and you're not taking the best care of your pet's teeth, which I have been known to do, I admit it, then what are you in for at the vet's office?
Well, generally they'll do a dental, is what they call it. And basically what they do is they clean their teeth. If they have to pull any, they pull any. But to do that, they have to put them under general anesthetic because otherwise the vet will get bit. Okay, I get that. But we need to think about the risks involved with that because general anesthetic has risks for dogs, cats, people. So we always want to give it some good thought and really talk to our vets about, okay, what are the risks? What do I expect? What do I need to know? Is the animal going to stay overnight? Do I come and pick it up? What do I have to be careful with? I don't find all that information out ahead of time.
And it's going to cost you too.
It's going to cost you, yes.
So maybe this is a good way to kind of try to stave off that, and maybe you only need a dental once every 4 years instead of once every year.
Yeah, and it does work. And there's things you can put in their water as well that do help freshen their breath, that does help get some of that plaque and stuff off. And that makes a difference too, those things.
So we've got some chew things here as well. I know that chewing on hard surfaces and some of these things that kind of can help work plaque off as well.
Right.
So if you're giving your pets chew toys, it's a great idea to look for something that might help keep his teeth clean as well as giving him something to chew, right?
Can you sit down, please? And some of these too, they have like this busybody over here. It's got some bristles on it too. And you can also, yes, you can put these treats that come with it in there, but you can also stick some toothpaste in that. If you have a dog that's not
what a good idea.
Really interested in letting you brush their teeth while they're getting to that point, put some toothpaste in that. And you can do it on any of these others also, especially with the bumps on it. It'll while they chew on it, they're going to get some of that, at least some of it on their teeth a bit.
That is a great tip
helps.
and something that I hadn't necessarily thought of as we were looking at this.
Yes.
Well, that's a great idea. Just put it right in there.
Put it right in there. And it's, if you have a dog too that's overweight, you may not want to put these higher calorie treats on there.
Right.
But throw some toothpaste in there. It's got a great flavor yet. And they'll be willing to chomp at it, but you won't be worrying about calories. So it's kind of a nice thing too.
And there's some edibles as well. Don't we have some greenies or something over there?
We have some of these that are they can actually eat them. They're ingestible. But they will also help get some of that plaque and stuff off their teeth.
I know that if your pet goes off their food, if they, you notice a little bit of blood in the food or you notice some loose teeth or something like that, I think that those are probably all symptoms of
very much
problems with the teeth.
Yes, and watching the color of their gums, if the color of their gums are changing and they seem more tender or whatever, that's a time to get them in and have them checked out.
So, great. Let's see. I think that we've covered a lot about pet dental health, the problems associated with it. The issues of if you get an infection or an abscess in a tooth, it's just like people. It can go all the way to the heart
Absolutely.
and create issues with internal problems as well. So you want to keep their teeth in good shape.
Right.
They need them. They use their hands like we use, or they use their mouths like we use our hands.
Exactly.
So they need healthy mouths. But
Right.
you also want to make sure that if you suspect anything, you get it checked out.
Right.
And if you're looking to maybe help your pet, keep their teeth clean, it's a great idea to get them used to brushing.
Very much so. Anytime you can get them used to something and get them so that they tolerate it well, it's a good thing.
Well, and it seems to me too that it's almost a bonding experience for you guys.
It
Hey,
very
we're
much
petting
is.
them, we're
Oh, yeah.
enjoying.
I sit down in the chair and okay, let's go, and they just automatically, one done, the other comes up. They made their own little routine as to what the order is.
Excellent. Well, I think it's good to know that. I think it's good for people to think about pet dental health this month. I think it's great if you are worried about your pet's teeth or they're off their feet or something like that, check with your vet. Maybe go in for a dental check.
Absolutely.
And if you need a cleaning, you should get it because their teeth
Right.
are important. But if you can stave it off by any stretch of the imagination by doing any of these things, I think that's a great thing too.
And it helps them. Obviously, it's stressful to go in and get their teeth cleaned because it's a surgical procedure. It's considered because they do put them under anesthetic. But you also need to be the one that knows what's their mouth look like. What's a normal mouth? It's like if you're checking ears. If you have a dog prone to ear infections, you need to know what their ears smell like, normal and not normal.
Okay.
So you can judge those things because animals will try to hide the pain if they're in pain. They're really good at that. So we need to be on top of those things.
All right. Well, we'll keep your mouth in great shape. You've got beautiful pearly whites, Hazel. And we'll be back with more after this.
I love to run, but I can't walk a straight line. It's because of my brain. It's been damaged. My previous owner left me unconscious. I still don't know what I did to make her so angry that night. Amazing people found me and gently nursed me back to health. They gave me my second chance. I once overheard a child ask if I'd walk straight again when I got to heaven. Maybe. But right now, I'm enjoying my little piece of heaven on earth.
Thanks for joining us for The Dish. We'll have a new show once every 2 weeks that'll bring you more training tips and pet health tips, information about events that are going on at the shelter, and things that you as a pet owner can use. So for now, goodbye, but thanks for joining us and have a great week.